and welcome to the first episode of Roundtable with eZpedal. And we are doing this series to enlighten everyone about how we are transforming and how people are transforming. So today we have our guest over here. We have our mentor, Mr. Hannes Neupert. Hannes is a light electric vehicle expert, and he's been in the industry since 1982. Works with the European government as well as the German government, and has done his contribution in the standard development and a lot amount of people and city transformations. Along my side is also Mr. BapuSaheb Gaikwad. He's a joint city engineer for Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Corporation and has been an eminent part about designing our streets and making people's life more easier and happy. Thank you for your time, Anas and BapuSaheb. So we would like to start with firstly, what is a people-centric city? When you say people-centric city, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, the city which is thinking about the people first, keeping people in their planning first at the center, and rest of the things are to facilitate people's needs, is a people-centric city, which in other means is that easier life for them dwelling in a city. Day-to-day trips are generated for various purposes. People move from one point to another point, home to workplace, home to worship place, home to park, home to any other places as per their needs. These trips are daily generated in the city at one point and they are dissipated at some other point. So these trips or movement of the people is crucial one nowadays in our city. That people are having least choice of public transport and they are forced to use their private automobiles and they are using mostly the bikes, motorcycles and cars for their daily commute, and which have burden over city government to cater their demands in the form of roads, network, footpaths, parking, and all these stuff. So people-centric cities will have more people space on the roads, whereas now we have more space for cars and automobiles. That doesn't work, and we have various problems like traffic jams, then pollution, noise pollution, air pollution. All these things are coming, but we are thinking in other way around to develop people-friendly cities nowadays.
So, Hannes, what's your concept about people-centric cities? What do you think comes into the people-centric cities?
I think the people-centric cities are very well known. You just have to go to a city like Venice. There is simply not any possibility to go with a car instead. You can take a boat. But mainly it's about human centric design. So you can walk to all the places which you mentioned within a few minutes.
Okay.
And people live a very healthy life because they're walking each day quite a lot. And still, I believe they're much faster in their transportation time every day than people living in Pune at the moment, or in Berlin or in London. And slowly, there are more and more cities finding out that it doesn't make people happy to be in traffic jams, to spend hours of their daily lifetime stuck in traffic. And that's why when people experience once how beautiful it is, that you can go just walking. Within 15 minutes, you reach your grocery store, your workplace, the kindergarten, the workshop place, whatever you want to go, the park, the restaurant, everything is available on your fingertips.
Right.
And everything what you cannot walk in 15 minutes, you may do on a cycle. Or you use public transport. But what we learned is that with cars, it simply doesn't work.
Right.
And cars, maybe you don't have to totally ban it, but at least don't match with the people-centric city.
From my perspective, I think when I go to Berlin or when I visit a country which is in Europe, so I think for me, the concept of people-centric city is enjoying the public space. And if you can enjoy really walking down the street from your house, going towards the market, it really gives you a very good mood. And again, I think nowadays we have a lot amount of road rages because of traffics. So when you walk down to the street, there is some place to sit, some good, beautiful structure to look at. You have a musician playing some instrument in near a garden place, or you really can sit somewhere on the street and read a book mindly, or some gardening done. I think people-centric city for me is of that aspect where I really enjoy walking or going down my road, and that's how I believe a transformation is needed for it. So, coming to the next part of the conversation, Hannes and Bapu said, is that how, from Hannes' perspective, I'll try to get it that how do you think the European model or the other cities in the world, with certain examples, were able to achieve this people-centric approach, and how did they transform? Or from your experience, you have worked with many cities, so how were they able to change, or were they simply the same from the beginning? Like over here, we have a big hurdle that changing the mindset of the people. BapuSaheb will let us know on that as well. It's very difficult. So was this the same in Europe, or is this very different from Indian context? Or like today also we had a conversation where even Commissioner said that it's very difficult to get all things onboarded, for people to get onboarded. So how is it?
Generally, humans, I think, all over the world are the same. They don't like changes. They stick on what they're used to. So that's why I think the magic trick is to give people the experience how it could be different. For example, in South America, many cities, they, like Bogota, they do car-free streets all the main streets are blocked for cars on the weekends, which allowed people to find out how beautiful life can be when you can have all this space for playing, for cyclings, for having a picnic, and you have better air, you have the peace, and this makes people aware that it's not automatic like this, that all this is a traffic jam, noisy, polluting, and even you change all the cars to electric, it's still not people-centric.
Right.
And always this change is very difficult. And afterwards, when it's changed, I observed this in my childhood. My father's a city architect, and he built in the 1970s and 1980s many car-free city centers in Germany. And before, like the butcher, he expressed that his company will go bankrupt. And the restaurant said, if the customers can't come by car, they will go bankrupt. And the total opposite happened. Because the city center was car-free, it was like totally refreshing. There are much more customers coming than before because they enjoy to stay there. And when you count the purses coming by, the cars are very limited. Each car has one purse usually, which can go shopping.
Yeah.
And if you open it for maybe a bus going through, cyclists also allowed, maybe not riding, but pushing their bike. And pedestrians, you have many more purses coming by, which can spend money. And when people stay longer, they eat more often in the restaurant, they have more ice cream consumed. So all the businesses improve their turnover 3-4 times.
Right.
And if you would talk in the same city with the same people, before they cry, you kill, we will go bankrupt. And now, if you say, hey, do you want the cars back? They will do the same cry and crisis, blah, blah, blah. And it will be ever the same. When I listen to your commissioner today and to the discussion, it feels so familiar with me. what I had in discussions in Germany, in Netherlands.
So, Babu sir, what do you think the transformation that you have done up till now? Did you face the same, and was there any example of change that you have done up till now?
Yes, similar case. We are facing similar challenges here in our city also. We have put challenge one of the challenge that cycle for change 2 years back, and people voted for. We have kept 10 streets of the main streets of the city for their opinion where we shall build cycle lanes. Give your opinions within 15 days or a month time. So they voted for Aundrayut Road, which is a stretch from Rajiv Gandhi Bridge to going to Ravek, 14 kilometer stretch. We have put that 4 kilometers first part of it for their opinion. So people voted for that numerously, and we have won that challenge by having tactile in the form of tactile cycle tracks, and we have cycle rallies on the road. Then, as you mentioned earlier, that it was blocked for cars. We have car-free zones there on Sundays, and we tried to have yoga, cycling, then plays, then some exercise, music, and all these, and people liked it. And then we transformed that street into cycle-friendly, pedestrian-friendly street, and which is beautiful street nowadays in our city. And people are using it safely for cycling and walking. Morning and evening hours are always packed. At the same time, we have given car space to car users also. So we are balancing it in the form of NMT and public transport. We are having BRTs on that route. So buses are running with public transport. Then car users are there for their purposes, but cycle friendly people are happy with that. So this is the first step. We have transformed that street as per their demand, as per their willingness, and people are using it happily. So I want to escalate this to the city level. So we announced the project, that is Harit Setu project for a city, Harit Setu and master plan for a city. So it is one street, and likewise we have developed 5 more streets here and there, but network was not there. So coming to user-friendly development of non-motorized kind of thing, we thought that there shall be some neighborhoods in the cities where this activity can be performed exclusively for shorter trips, at least. At least trips other than works can be converted on foot or cycle. So that one of the neighborhood we have in Nigli Pradhikaran area, and I think 1.5 years or 2 years back, October 2022, there was a global challenge, Bloomberg's initiative for cycling infrastructure. We participated, we registered there, and we have submitted our project report of Harit Setu, which was got through out of 275 cities globally in first 10 cities. After iteration of interviews, information, then question answer, questionnaires, presentations, and we were there in the Bloomberg first challenge of global cycling infrastructure initiative, 10 cities. So that was pride moment for us. It was declared on 2nd June 2023, and we are there having the ripening the fruits from Bloomberg initiative. GDCI is partner, knowledge partner for that, and they are technically supporting us to have good neighborhood. We are having plan for 8 such neighborhoods in our 8 administrative zones, which will come up in next decade.
So, Bapu sir, as you said that you have implemented such projects now. You are from the implementation side of the things. So, what do you think is the challenge on the Indian context about when we talk about people's mindset? Because I am sure when we are on the drawing boards and we do a lot amount of research and we want to do people-centric city, but what about the mindset of the people or the challenges that you get, and what would be your message into that terms about how people should take this approach and what are the benefits on that scale?
So challenges and constraints are there, always there. For doing any new thing, there are constraints. So people think they are happy with whatever they are given. Once we facilitate them to certain new facilities, they have to be they have to use it, and then they will be familiar with that facility also. Unless until we build cycle track, they will not cycle on it. So giving facility is one more step ahead to change the mindset of the people, that there is a cycling facility, and if we ride a bike on that, we are feeling safe. And if city is doing such thing, then that will give idea to them that cycling is safer in our city also. Otherwise, these people are very fond of cycling in European cities. They do cycle rides there in Europe, and proudly saying that we have cycle ride in France, Paris, maybe Amsterdam, or like that. But why not in Pimpri Chinchwad? Is my question to them. So the people, they are also supporting. Some people are supporting, some are always notorious, and they are worried about their parking spaces only. But I think I am hopeful that their mindset will be changed by having some cycle rides with them, including them. Again, their experience. Once they are happy with cycling in their area for such a short distance, say 3, 4, 5 kilometers, then there is no such much efforts required, and they will feel definitely happy to change their mindset. So I am seeing that repetitively we have to go to them and involve them in our planning as well as execution part. Then they will say that this is our project, we can do, and we can go ahead with it. So this is my approach to them. So people's involvement in the project is must, and we have 2 steps ahead. Before implementation, we have involved them. We have 16, 17 meetings in a hall, at their residences, on road, in school. Like this, we have conducted several seminars or meetings with them.
Great, sir. So now coming to the point that cycling, Bapu sir himself is a cyclist and Hannes himself is a cyclist as well. And Hannes, as we all know that India was a bicycling country. Pune was a bicycling city not very long back. We are talking about 1980s.
3, 4 decades.
Yeah, 1980s probably, and 1990s we were a cycling city. And then later on, the middle class buying power went on and we became a highest two-wheelers selling city.
Yeah.
And now soon, because of the automobile production hubs and auto hubs, we would also become a very highly selling car city also in very short time. So Hannes, I know that you always give us an example of Netherlands, how the world's one of the happiest cities in the world and the highest cycling city in the world was not always like that, and how they transformed, and from a car-centric city they went to a bicycling city. So
Yeah, this was not given by God that Netherlands is a bicycle country. It was a bicycle country, like what you just described here, but this was like 1940s, 50s. And then it became a car-centric country. And actually what happened is that in 1972, with the oil crisis, we had the issue that because of the shortage of oil, the government shut down all cars for several days. Like there have been car-free Sundays to save oil.
Okay.
Very simple. And not to change the transportation, just to save oil, because there was a shortage. And suddenly people feel how beautiful life can be in the cities when there are no cars moving. It was silent, the air was good. You can let your kids go on their own to roam the city, because the immediate danger of the kids getting killed by cars was secured. And at the same time, many children have been killed all the time on their way to school by cars in accidents. And then from 1972 on, triggered by this experience that it's not naturally that you have cars ever, and that there is another life option to have cities where the car has no major role. The mothers went on the streets every Monday and demonstrated stop the Kindermord. So stop cars killing our children. And anyhow, the government tried to ignore it, but they just continued all over Netherlands. And this has started a transition of Netherlands the last 50 years. This transition is still ongoing, of Netherlands being an extremely human-centric city architecture.
Right.
The historic towns, anyhow, they never built for cars, they built for cycles and maybe horse carriages. Slow-moving transport, same what India had before.
Right.
Because if you have slow-moving transport, you can mix a very big horse carriage with cyclists, with pedestrians. And I can see that most pedestrians in India still train for this moment. They are fearless, just walking the street, and the truck drivers ignore them. And I'm always like, wow, they survived. But it was like this sharp. And this is something I think also in India people can easily adapt again. It just needs a triggering moment.
Yeah.
And the trigger moment in Netherlands was 50 years ago, the oil crisis, and this experience. And that's why I totally love your strategy to have these car-free days.
Yeah.
And I think this should be a citywide subject, which is very strict. And suddenly people will experience this, and it needs to be very frequent, like, let's say, every second Sunday, so that people waiting for it.
Right.
And I would say within 1 year, the mindset of the people will figure out that this stupid vehicle, the car, is standing behind you and a happy life. And to see that in India still the car is a prestige object.
Yeah.
People are judged by the type of car they have.
Yeah, definitely.
People text them, okay, he can afford a car at this price range. He should be a rich guy, or he has a very fashionable, blah, blah, Italian car or British car or whatever. And he's very stylish. And it's, I'm industrial designer, and I have to say, mobility is a fashion item. And but the point is that now the young generation in Germany, I observe, they consider someone who spends a lot of money for a car as an idiot. Because he is he's not reasonable.
Right.
Because a car doesn't make you happy. And many young people even don't make a driver license anymore because for what? As long as there's good public transport and they can go by bicycle and walking, why should they spend so much of their lifetime to earn money to have an expensive car, and then they always have parking tickets, and there are so much costs. And when you make the calculation of your average speed, considering the time you need to earn the money to pay for a car, most car drives are in the range of 6 to 7 kilometers per hour. Even you drive 80 kilometers per hour, because the time to own the car and operate the car, you need to spend hours of work every month.
Right.
In my area, in the countryside in Germany, the car ownership is the highest expenses, higher than the rental of the apartment in most families. And this is just stupid.
I think from my experience as a younger generation, I would say, is that in India, we like to do point-to-point commute. That I want to start from my house on my bike or my car, and I want to reach exactly at my office or my, say, wherever I want to go to the market. So most of the ideology is coming from point-to-point commute, the first point. And with the public transport, it might be that I don't have a direct connection. I take a bus and then change it to a train, and now we have good metro service. So yeah, people are taking metro in India now, in Pune at least. So that transformation is coming where people are parking at least at the metro station and taking a metro to the main city and coming back. That's the point number one, that Indians are in love of point-to-point commute, and that's one facilitation that they get. Second is with bicycling. I think the safety of the streets. Not all the streets are bicycle friendly, and that's why not everybody likes to go on bicycles. And it's also because of the summer temperatures and all. You sweat a lot when you ride bicycles on the Indian streets is one of the reason. And then coming to the point is, Hans, that you are a guy who introduced us to pedelec. For me, I'm Pratyush. So we would come to that perspective about what is a pedelec, how did you fell in love with it, like what made you go to this product. And now, as we know that most of the Europeans who have a bicycle is a pedelec in Europe. So tell us something about the product. Why do you think it can transform cities and get people to use it a lot? And also it is a game changer for even the Indian cities in that context.
It cannot be explained by talking. It cannot be explained by a video or by graphics. It's very simple. It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You write it, and after this, you're qualified, and you will end up cycling on a pedelec.
Yeah.
Because it's so much fun.
Right.
But how I came to it was just thinking about our world, about the climate catastrophe. In 1982, I read in the newspaper about some guy in Australia, Hans Tolstrup. He made a solar vehicle without a battery, actually, and he rode across Australia with it.
Without a battery?
Yeah, just pure sun.
Oh.
So when there was a cloud, the vehicle was driving a little bit slower, and he proved it's possible. And I thought about what is the most efficient vehicle which we can have on the world. At that time, it was the cycle. But actually, with the electric motor, you can improve the efficiency of the cycle, because you can remove the core stress going up an incline, and you can also do different jobs with cycles when they become a pedal electric cycle. An assisted cycle which keeps the character of the cycle, so the human power is the center of it. It has nothing to do with a motorcycle. It has nothing to do with being unsporting, especially men or elderly men. They're always, the first reaction is, oh, I'm too young, I'm too sporty, I don't need this. No, this is like taking an escalator and you're still walking on it.
Right.
You just get the job done quicker and more fun. So this technology has been able, like in my childhood, I was one of the very few cycle users, heavy cycle users in Stuttgart, very hilly town. We have 300 elevation between main city and the outer city parts, like it's in the valley.
Yeah.
And very steep hills, 12-13% grade uphill. So most people don't like this at all. So that's why nobody cycles today. The model split is close to 20 for cycling. At that time, it was below 1%, almost not measurable. And when you look to the roads, it's all pedelecs. And there are a lot of pedelecs like with 2 children seat on, with a lot of cargo space. Because with the pedelec you can do it. So people do it. And it's fun. And also, if you be in front of the kindergarten in the morning, the parents pose with their latest, most fashionable cargo bikes instead of the SUVs some years ago. So this has changed. So it becomes a fashion statement, and you are our smart family, not having 2 cars, maybe having no cars. Because you don't waste money for this silly thing, you don't waste lifetime taking care for your cars, instead of having pedelecs. Was the oldest pedelec public sharing service for pedelecs is in Stuttgart. And this was also the starting point for the Chinchwad cable, which is the IC standard now. And the first production industrialization is happening here in Pune. I'm very excited about it, I have to say. And I think the whole world will watch this eZpedal project here in Pune, and very carefully. And I think it will. Some years later, people cannot imagine that this doesn't exist.
Sure. So, Bapu sir, you being a cyclist, and last year you were in Europe and experiencing pedelec for the first time.
Yes.
So, what is your take on a pedelec, and how do you look at the product in Indian context and Indian perspective?
I think the product is good, user friendly. People will definitely accept it, but we have to give them experience as such. So trials and tests will improve their acceptance. Willingness is there. Young generation, as mentioned by Hannes, young generation is willing to bike, but there is no space for biking. Sales of bike in our stores is going up, but we are not seeing cyclists on the roads or in the neighborhood. People are willing to buy bicycles, want to have a fun with bicycle, but they are having fear in their minds that we will not be safe on the roads. So we are trying to gather this all information from them and providing them with cycle friendly networks in their neighborhood, so that at least if my kid is going to a school, say about 1 or 2 kilometers away, let him go on his bike. So such network in the neighborhoods shall be built, and then people will like it. So this pedelec experience would definitely gain importance in our context too, once it is experienced by them.
Right.
Unless until it is not experienced, their comments will not be there. Why I am telling this? The people were worried about why to build permanent cycle tracks there. I was criticized at every level. But with people's opinion and after tactical experience, we made it permanent, and now it is being used them happily, very happily. We are seeing cyclists as well as pedestrians on those streets in the evening and morning hours. Huge users are there. So unless until facility is created and put to their use, their experience will not be there. So pedelec, I am hopeful that this product will be very enormously used in our context too. So I am in the opinion that pedelec will transform city mobility in the neighborhoods, definitely, for sure.
I think from my perspective, honest, when I drove the product for the first time, for me, it was an experience where I said, why is this not in India? And why aren't people using it more? But to my surprise, when I came back to India, I came to know that the product is already there. And it's only that people are using it with a throttle.
Yeah.
And the quality is not there at all. and the bicycle geometry or many of the other things are missing in the product a lot of times. And there are no trials. So I was surprised that I could not get a electric bicycle trial in any showrooms nearby.
Yeah.
And the sales people who were selling the product were not knowing about the specs of the product or what is it benefited of. The price is definitely higher because of the motor and the battery than the comparable product, but they were very reluctant to sell the product. Instead, they would convince me to buy a normal trek bicycle or a Canyon or something else. But when I asked more about the electric bicycles, they were not ready to tell me more about it. So I felt that was the biggest lacking part, which really hit me out. That okay, the product knowledge is not there. And apart from that, when I see people bicycling on electric bicycles in India, most of them are throttling.
Yes.
And most
All
of the
of them,
manufacturers
all
are
of
throttling.
them are throttling only.
Yes, so
Yeah.
I felt it very funny that if you want to throttle, why don't you buy a moped instead of not going into going into a electric bicycle? So even when I saw people driving electric bicycles on highways and all, so there's always a justification given by most of the people that I spoke to from Indian industry that no, in India you need a throttle or people will get tired or it's very difficult to drive uphill. But in most of the part where even the roads are flatter, they still have a throttle on it. So I think that's something that I feel very different from the European context where you don't have a throttle on a bicycle. So, what's your opinion on it? That is having a throttle on bicycle okay, or it should not be there?
Yeah, I think there's simple history to that. Also in Europe, we had the throttle in the past. It's still legal, but you have to pedal, and then you can control by the throttle the power. But it disappeared from the market because it's no fun to ride. And in the US, all my friends in the US told me that no, unless you don't understand American way of life, blah 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 blah, we like the throttle. And suddenly, the sales in the US with the throttle is dramatically declined because there's so great torque sensors, controlled pedelecs offered to the market, or the electric mountain bikes. There's so much more fun. So the key is that the fun, it's like you have, you're doing everything.
Yeah.
So it enhances your body power.
Right.
And it feels so happy. And if you have the throttle, it always feels, oh, you're slow, so slow.
Yeah.
Because you're not involved. So it's a lane motorcycle. And this can never be fast enough. And with an electric bicycle, let's say you go 20 kilometers per hour, it feels fun.
Yeah.
And if you go with a throttle, it feels extremely slow.
I think it's the same thing with the what we feel with the electric bikes.
Yeah.
That when you're at 80, when you're at the initially it's a very high torque, you feel good.
Yeah.
But when you're on a highway and then you're all out on your throttle, then you feel like suddenly it's no fun anymore.
Yeah, it almost stops.
It almost stops.
Yeah.
But with pedaling, it's almost like every time you pedal, there's an adrenaline rush that you get. And the bicycle, when the motor kicks in, the more you pedal, the more power it generates, and then you go faster. And when you don't power, you get that slow pace again. I think it's much more fun.
And also down the road, I expect that we will have much more smarter electric bikes, which will, for example, use our body sensors like a smartwatch to adjust. Like maybe last night we didn't sleep so well. It will help us a little bit more to get going and other things. So the bikes will adjust. They will be our personal trainers to get us up to speed. And this is something which you cannot do with motorcycle, which you cannot do with a tram, which you cannot do with a car. All this will become boring.
Yeah.
At the end, fun is the driver, and at the other hand, it's also a health subject. Like in Netherlands, many bus lines for school kids have been stopped. Instead, the schools supporting a pedelec. So the result of the children in school become much better. Because in the morning they already had 15 kilometers of cycling, and they are fully awake when they arrive in school, and they didn't sit in the school bus for half an hour, and they're still sleepy. So this is much better for health, because we originally not delivered by nature as couch potatoes.
Yeah.
It's a very big issue that our modern lifestyle is absolutely abnormal to our original destiny, which is walking, keep moving, standing. But now we're sitting at the breakfast table, we're sitting in the car, we're sitting at the office desk, and we're sitting wherever. And this is not healthy.
This is not healthy.
And another subject is that with the pedelec, it's the most efficient means of transport in terms of energy,
Right.
and raw material. Even a tram or a bus cannot compete, even not a cycle, because the cycle needs more. We need to feed ourselves more calories. And unfortunately, in our modern diet, the calorie comes 1 calorie comes with about 20 calories of fossil fuels to be put into the fertilizers, into the processing, into the cooling chains, into all the artificial food which we have today, and the long distance our food is making. So actually, our modern lifestyle is killing us.
So this is a very missing point that you have mentioned here, that not many people realize that the CO2 emissions are not only limited to how you drive your vehicle, or it's not about how much fires are you using. It is also about how you're consuming your food, and how much you're eating, or how much fitter you are. And what all goes into even the smallest of the thing. That realization, I feel, is missing with a lot of context.
Yes.
That it's not only about how you travel, it's also about what you're using in your day-to-day life, what food you're consuming, if it's completely packaged or you're preparing at home. So thankfully most of Indians are cooking at home. But now there's also a lot amount of culture of consuming ready-made foods, or what goes into that. So that's a really interesting point that you have put on. CO2 emissions, in terms of people also say that when we put out something called as walking CO2 emissions, so many of them are surprised that how can you calculate CO2 emission while walking. So I always emphasize that, okay, you have to eat to generate some amount of energy, and for walking is consuming a lot amount of that energy, and there goes a lot amount of food. And to prepare that food, you need some amount of CO2 that has been released into the atmosphere. So that's really a very good point that you have mentioned, Anas. So now coming to the other side of the story is with Bapu sir, I would like to say that what is one thing that you would want people to change from their mindset towards the city planning? That you earlier mentioned that we have a lot amount of plans and everything. So what do you think should be the approach from the citizen side that should change in considering these perspectives?
Yeah, citizens has to think about futuristic planning for next generation. That we are gifted with so many good resources, but we are restricting next generation by curtailing their resources. Like we were able to go to school on foot or cycle, but now we are forcefully sending our kids in a bus or car to the school, or on a moped. Their moms are taking on moped to their school. Then again they are waiting at their school gates when they are arriving the school. So this mindset people has to change in 180 degrees or so.
But Bapu sir, I would then contradict that. What is harm in this? Like, why? What is harm in going to school, picking up on a two-wheeler? Many people say, "Isme kya bhai in Hindi?" Like, what is the harm in this?
No. If you are residing beside the school, you will find what is harm in that. The people daily coming to your house, they are gathering there, honking there, they are putting their cars or bikes in front of your dwelling in between your dwelling, people are saying, no, I will not come to you because you are always crowded in the
You are staying
bikes
near the
and
school.
yeah, near school. So such drawbacks are there. So people mindset shall be changed to use uh, their own resources, and those shall be handed over to next generation if they are walking, or they are developing their culture in walking and cycling. They will be able to do so. If they are taking only automobiles for their use, for their commute, and they are not giving chance to kids or next generation to walk or cycle, then there is a disaster for sure. Certainly it will be a disaster.
This is a very, very good point. In Paris, they made this in front of the school's kindergarten. They closed the car traffic completely. So they have a school or kindergarten zone. So nobody's allowed to drive there. This means that these mama papa taxi services, which you described, a motorcycle or car, whatever, the kids have to walk the last few hundred meters at least.
Yeah.
And this kind of dangerous traffic jam, which is putting people's children's life in danger, is going away, and also make it less attractive to use these car or motorcycle to do this kids delivery. And there's another point what I learned from city planner from Portland in Oregon, US. And he said a very simple method to measure how good a cycling infrastructure in your city is. Just imagine your child is 8 years old. Do you worry if your child goes by itself on a bicycle to school? Do you worry about the safety? If you worry about the safety, your city infrastructure is bad.
Yes.
It needs to be improved. If you don't worry, it's a good infrastructure. And yesterday when I went with the pedelecs through the city, I felt, okay, I would not have my kids alone here going on a bicycle track, because there's still many super dangerous places in the crossings, in between construction machines standing on the bicycle track probably for days. The ice cream stand just settled in the middle of the bicycle lane because whatever, it was possible. So I think this is good measurement. And the freedom of the child is limited, total unfair. They should roam on their own, and their parents should not worry about it.
I think coming
Just towards just like animals do.
Yeah.
Animals calf and birds.
Yeah.
Little birds move around on their own. Why should not human beings, kids, move on their own?
Yes.
This concept shall be digested by the citizens.
there is a big jokes are going around. Have you seen those memes where there's like kids from 1960s? He falls down and he just does this and he goes without anything.
Yeah.
Then there is a kid from 1990s where he gets hurt and he looks at this, he does this. And then there comes a kid from 2000 later on. When he gets hurt, he holds it and he does this. And then there's a kid from after 2010 where he's holding it and he goes off crying. So I think that's the whole transformation that has happened.
Yeah.
That when we were kids, falling down and having some, bruises, it was okay. But nowadays, if kids fall down, then mom and dad are like rushing towards them, taking them to hospitals if the bruise is bigger and giving them tetanus injections. I think I have not taken one till I was very late in my life for having a tetanus injection. So I think that's the transformation of generation, that parents are becoming much more restricted towards their kids, and the kids are becoming less adventurous in that manner. And that's why I think the culture of dropping to the school, getting them from the school, and then again they glorify it by telling the kid that, okay, today you're going in this car, tomorrow you're going in this car, you have that sunroof open, and having the kid going up from the sunroof. So that's a very common scenario that happens in the school things. So, Bapu sir, you have been visiting a lot amount of countries for your study purpose and the transformation that you seek about the studying and everything. And Hannes, you have looked into a lot amount of city transformation and everything. So, this question is to both of you that what is currently India doing good, and what is India doing bad, and what do you think would be the good transformation that would be happening in next 4 to 5 years that you guys see? Starting with you, Hannes.
To my opinion, India is in the center of having a chance for transformation for the world. And the climate catastrophe is asking us for extreme fast transformation. I see it very painful how much concrete is poured into flyovers, bridges, highways, seeding future car transport, truck transport, having industrial zones built near the highway, which means that all the goods need to be exclusively transported by truck because there's no train connection to the industrial zone like in the past. I think this is very sad. On the other hand, my observation is that things are repeated. So the question is how fast India can get over this. On the other hand, I believe that India, especially two-wheel industry, has the chance to become dominant in the world and the green transformation, also with the pedelec. The supply chain is still in the infant stage, but the central component of the future product is software.
Right.
And for software, we all know India is leading developer and producer of software. That's why I see a huge chance also to become the sole supplier or main supplier of Africa. And India is the only country which can compete, for my opinion, with China as a source and production hub. So that's why I have a very big hope, and I'm excited to see these things happening. But of course, it needs a home market. And I believe the pedelec will win the hearts of everyone in India. You just need to become available at the operational cost. This means that you don't need to own a pedelec, you may pay by use. And this model is extremely important, and it may be often be combined as a part of public transport because it's a perfect device to enhance the public transport. Because if you have a metro station here, if you just have walking, the reach of the metro station is very narrow. It's maybe 2 kilometers, and then people consider it's too far.
Yeah.
If you provide quality pedelec parking, very convenient. You can learn this how this works in the Netherlands. You ride into the station, you park your pedelec, and you just walk upstairs, and you're at the platform, and you go.
Yeah.
Extremely fast change. You can extend the range to 5 to 8 kilometers. People have the same traveling time. And this means that with the same metro stations, you can have much more reach. So this is magic, the combination. And people will enjoy this totally. Of course, it means that maybe at your target destination, metro station, you may be able to borrow a pedelec for your last mile. This is also something which we can learn in the Netherlands, how this works. This is called OV feeds.
Yeah.
All these models are there. Now we have the IC interface, which allows to combine all these private vehicles, public shared vehicles with the same parking infrastructure, and also develop a very high, secure anti-theft mechanism. So these things will come together, and I hope, like 30 years ago, I learned Pune was a cycling city.
Yeah.
So I hope that 10 years down the road, Pune will be a cycling city again, or pedelec city.
Awesome.
Nice.
Bapu sir, your take on this?
As he has mentioned correctly that India is good marketplace for all the things, including software, like that. pedelec market also shall be grown up in this city, and we are positive in that sense that it should support public transport, enhance the public transport. It will be a feeder to public transport. People will like that public transport combined with non-motorized transport will be a very good means of commute in the city. So it consumes less amount of time once you are walking to the metro station or pedaling to the metro station. And as he has mentioned, good example of Netherlands. I have been there in Utrecht, where multi-storied cycle parking I have seen. People are coming, parking their bike in the bike station and have a train to their destinations. At other end, they have another bike and go to their office or workplace. Then while coming again, same pattern. So pedelec has a crucial role as a rental bikes from public transport node to the neighborhood, and from public transport node to the commercial zones, maybe a market zone or an office. Their rental concept can grow.
Right.
And there is a space, there is space to develop our concept. So to support this, again, the financial models globally accepted by all the partners that this should be viable financially also. So for that advertising pattern, whatsoever that model works, because people are buying product by watching the advertisement, as he mentioned on software part of it, that every instrument or every this electronic device you open, you have number of advertise.
Right.
So like that, advertise has a potential to generate revenue, and then viability of this pedaling rental bike system can move ahead. And I hope we will demonstrate that model in our city for sure. And in coming decade, will definitely transform the mindset of the people that they should be NMT friendly and public transport friendly. The big question to us is that how to enhance public transport. So having a metro line just for 20-30 kilometer will not serve the city purpose, but it should have good bus transport as well. So buses are penetrating to the maximum extent nearby the residences or nearby the commercial spaces or nearby the workplaces. So buses are equally crucial for having good public transport, and then first mile and last mile connectivity can be on foot or this cycles. So pedelec has a good role in this NMT and public transport friendly city developing. So
I think maybe we can also add some trams in future to have some smaller spaces.
We are studying or exploring that part also. We have a 30 meters ring road, about 30 kilometers in a city, which is there in our development plan, and we are thinking, or we are undergoing study alternatives of public transport on it, so that all major roads can be connected in the form of public transport. So that will also enhance some public transport to certain extent, and then all those stations can have easy or this pedelec system there for first and last mile connectivity. So that is future ahead of us. Definitely it will enhance our commute pattern in the city in the next decade.
Great, sir. So future looks very bright,
Yeah.
and I think Hannes and you guys being in the core of all these transformation will really make some difference in the city. And we are also trying our best to implement those things with eZpedal. And I would like to thank for your time coming here and giving us all the knowledge. It was very important for us that we are always there for your listening to your guidance and following it. Bapu sir always keeps preaching us about how the urban infrastructure is going out and what are the challenges, because we always tell him, sir, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? So he actually explains us what are the challenges on ground when you're implementing certain thing. There are many aspects of it to change people's mindset slowly. And being with you, Hannes, always getting the experiences of what mistakes have been committed in the past and not making those mistakes again, even if the timeline is slow, but getting everything perfect and getting into the point. So I think we all are working towards making people's life better and making it more happier and pursuing a common goal. So I would like to again thank you guys for on behalf of eZpedal for giving us this time. Thank you.
Thanks.